City Council, Place 6. I moved here in 2002 when I got married in 2003 to my wife. Been here for a little over 20 years now. God bless us with a beautiful little daughter, 9 years old, thinks she's going on 19. And she's now in part of our wonderful ISD here growing up. I've been very passionate about this city, and I hope that you see that from me tonight. When I was growing up, my family was very involved in the church. We moved to Texas when I was 4.5 because my father wanted to pursue a career to be a pastor, ended up being a remodeler for 30 years. But I was taught by my parents from a very early age to have a servant attitude and a servant heart. I served in my church, I served in my community. As I grew up and became an Eagle Scout, I also learned servitude through everything that we go through in the Boy Scouts. And then when I came here to this city, I felt like I still needed to serve, and I started serving on volunteer boards, committees, and so forth throughout this city. I've been on many nonprofits and served here. It's hard to walk through Walmart or Kroger without somebody stopping me going, "Oh, hey, Nate," want to say something. I'm not quiet by any means, as many of y'all probably know, but I'm happy to voice my concerns and be here for the community because I represent you, the people, the citizens of Forney. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Greg Helm, running for Place 6 on City Council, and my family we moved here in 2017, bought a 120-year-old house on Center Street, and that's pretty much what I've been doing the last 5.5 years now, is bringing that bad boy to life. But my wife and I've been married for 20 years. We've got 2 daughters. One's Ward Middle School, and the other's in high school, at Forney High School. And so between those two and what they do in the sports and activities, they keep us really busy with the house. We've just really grown to love this community. And what brought us here was really the kid activities, right? They were engaged in the recreational sports. We were engaged with church here. We're old house people. And as many of you know, there's not a lot of old houses in Forney. So when the one came up that we were able to get, we got here. And so since then, I've gotten the pleasure to serve on the Planning and Zoning Commission and really enjoyed that. Just look forward to hopefully continuing the service to the city.
So we'll go ahead and start the first. You can start the first question. So please tell voters why you chose to run for City Council and what your top 3 priorities are.
Okay. Well, again, I chose to serve because I've been serving with the P&Z Commission. I really just enjoyed that process, kind of getting to see what's happening with the city, and I felt like when the opportunity came, when Jason vacated the seat to run for mayor, there was an open spot, and so I feel like I've got the ability to fill in and jump into that seat and serve the city in different capacity. But honestly, the reason why I feel compelled to do this starts with my father. And he served in the city of DeSoto on their council for many stints. Even after his term limits came up, he was asked to kind of fill in when seats were vacated. And not to make this a sad story, but he passed away 2 years ago. And during his viewing, I got the chance to meet a lot of people that I had never met before in my life. And they all came up to me and said, "I served with your dad on City Council," or "I was, with the fire department. He really helped us with this." And I met so many people that I got to see my dad affect through just service to the city that was very inspiring. And so I felt like if there was ever an opportunity, I would do that. So here I am tonight. So top 3 priorities. Again, I'll kind of go back to the P&Z thing. If most of you haven't seen it, recently completed its comprehensive plan. It's a great piece. The company, Half and Associates, that put that together did a fantastic job, just really laying out and identifying the few plots of land and spaces that we have available in the city and best use for that. And it's, as you may know, that's not a legal binding plan that you need to use, but it gives us really good guidance. Number 2 is public safety, absolutely. And Jason kind of led into this. We are understaffed, we are under equipment, we are under facility for both fire and police, and we've got to do something about that. So that starts with budgeting and making sure and understanding what those departments need to keep our community safe, whether it's through crime, fire, rescue, what have you. Number 3 is just simply being a pragmatic leader. I'm a business analyst by trade. I've spent my whole career in the supply chain doing a lot of different things, from trucking to warehousing to manufacturing, and through that, in every step, I'm in the budgeting process. So I get the pleasure to make a lot of very quick decisions and long-term process decisions, and I have learned to be very pragmatic, to really analyze things, to understand all the things that can be affected when we make decisions.
Thank you. Nate?
Ditto, no, I'm just kidding. I want to express that I feel lately that our city, and for a while, I've been here, like I mentioned before, since 2002, and I feel that I've watched the city become very stagnant. I don't see a plan generated by anybody. Nobody's stepping out, taking risks, being a leader and understanding that we need to lead the city in a positive direction and moving forward. Everybody's so stuck on the past, and it's not getting us anywhere. We're just spinning our wheels. I have a plan of multiple phases I've started to put out on my campaign page. One of the first things is purposeful planning and budgeting. Okay, I want to see these plans come out. I want to see how we can grow the city strategically and growth with commercial developments and a lot more that can bring taxes. Part of that is budgeting properly. It's been brought up multiple times about our first responders. I completely agree. Chief White and Chief Briggs have stated that we are understaffed. We need to bring that up. But it's more than just budgeting our first responders. It's the entire city. It's a balanced budget, saving for the future so that we can do other projects and needs that we have as a city. Second phase of that's also events and entertainment. We can bring in tax dollars to our city without raising taxes for our residents and even our businesses. They struggle just like residents do. Okay. You'll see more of that as we come out. And lastly, bringing in more commercial development, which I believe we'll kind of cover too as that. But I have plans for that. I've started to release that information on my campaign page. I don't want to take up 2 hours of your time tonight talking about it. So, thank you.
60 seconds, just because I know you have somewhere to go, and we also have the school board too. So, okay, so next question, Nate, you can go first. Do you think our downtown is healthy and successful? Why or why not, and what would you change?
She said fast. Yes, no, bye. I think that we have a lot of wonderful people and a lot of wonderful businesses downtown, but overall I do think that it's lacking a lot of where it could be. Part of my plan for our entertainment is things that we can do to bring people to our downtown, bring more businesses, retail, commercial, even office spaces. One of those things is having things like a lunch crowd here in Forney, which we are kind of known for not having. One of the things I put out today on my page was that I'm proposing the idea of putting in a truck yard for food trucks and food trailers downtown. It's just an idea. I don't have anything but artistic design, but it's there. I want to put it out there to the public that this is something I would like to see us work on as a council. It brings dividends to the city long term. It brings a quality of life to our residents, and it brings life and growth to our downtown. So I think we are on the right start, but I think we can do a lot better, and I want to help push for that.
Thank you. Great.
Yeah, so the downtown, look, I live 2 blocks from it, so I really love downtown. On great nights, we like to walk down to Dino's and Latham Bakery. I think my kids keep that place in business buying desserts. But I will say it's healthy in terms of the amount of traffic flow and available space it has to work with. I will also say it's kind of unhealthy in that there are other downtowns, if you visit other towns around the state, it's really vibrant and really going, right? So there is a lot of opportunity to take some of the vacant buildings or some of the vacant lots and really expand that. But we've got to do a really good job of trying to promote people, you know, like Mike, it's a family-owned business that wants to take that risk and create this family environment that people want to go and eat, just have fun, enjoy with their kids. So there's opportunity. We got some work to do though. Yeah, so from a budgeting standpoint, I mentioned earlier, I've been involved in a lot of budgeting from a business standpoint, right? And there's kind of 2 really main keys to good sound budgeting, and that is reasonable projected future revenues, right? So in a city, it's kind of tax-based, like how much collection of revenue are we gonna get? And so whatever the process is to make sure that's a really good forecast that's reliable for the city to plan on. The other part is just that forensics audit of understanding, like, what is our high costs associated with the budget, right? Are we spending too much money in certain areas? So I'm all for auditing. I've always been that's a standard business practice, right? It's you have independent auditors that come in and check your budget. They kind of pinpoint where's percentages, what's your return on some of the money that you're spending in certain areas, and are you really getting payback for that? So those are two really key things. It really starts with understanding that forecast revenue, and then you're basically pushing money into buckets to understand what are you tackling, right? So whether it's public safety or parks or roads or what have you, we've got to be able to fund that and make sure money is being spent wisely, not just on something that somebody came up with years ago that has been forgotten and we keep paying money for it.
Okay. Nate?
Our city maintenance and operation tax rate, which is also referred to as the M&O rate, has been lowered every year as our property values go up. We all feel the crunch at the tax office now with the property values. My goal in budgeting, with our purposeful budgeting that I want to implement, is to continue to save money and keeping our tax rate low. At some point, the housing values are probably going to, they call it the pop of the bubble, and the values are going to come down. When that starts to come down, what typically has to go back up? I want to try to budget so that we can keep that M&O rate as low and as long as possible. One of the ways we can do that is bringing in more things like sales tax through things like events and entertainment centers and things like that for the city, more commercial growth that will bring that sales tax into the city so that we don't have to put the burden on the taxpayers from property taxes on that. Thank you.
Okay, question for Greg, you'll go first. How would you entice new businesses to want to come to Forney?
Okay. Well, obviously you're going to want to work with your EDC, right? And so again, I'll kind of reference back to the comprehensive plan. So we have these areas that are targeted, that we have potential to bring a new business, or maybe there's rundown, dilapidated areas that we can enhance and improve. And so what you really want to do is give your EDC group a targeted list to go after people. Like, go find these people, right? Here's the kind of restaurants or retail that we want to bring to the city. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not a big incentive guy. I understand that there are instances where it's needed, right? It's almost required to attract certain business, whether it's tax breaks or what have you. So I get that. But if you're willing to offer that, you've got to have a good return on that investment, right? It can't just be, well, okay, we want you here, here's $500,000, right? You've got to make sure that $500,000 is coming back to you. So that's a pretty simple process. The ROI is formulated, right? So you can understand that once you offer that. And so it's just really targeting, deciding who we want to bring to come here to Forney for our residents to enjoy and take care of.
Thank you. Cecil? Nate? Question, how would you entice new businesses to want to come to Forney?
So anytime you talk to large businesses, one of the first things they want to know, especially when you're talking retail, is they look at the algorithms. They look at, who's within a certain mile radius of the city. Where is everything from? Forney's growing. Forney's getting there. We've been restricted for so long by the river, but now that we have the rooftops, not just in city limits, but outside city limits, we're starting to hit those algorithms. We are an attractive city to a lot more companies. That's how we're able to get things like Kohl's, Outback, and many more that are starting to come. We need to market better as a city. The EDC does have their job to attract business, but as a council person, I feel it's important that when I go out in the public, but when I go around DFW and I see places that we visit regularly as a family and other families visit, it's reaching out to those owners and saying, hey, have you ever thought about coming to Forney? Not just the old regulars, but some of these smaller mom and pop businesses that we're finally wanting to expand. I've reached out to a couple different companies already, one in Rockwall that's interested in coming here that has an entertainment venue. That's part of my job as a council person, is representing you, the citizens. What can I go out and help bring here? I shouldn't just rely on others to do the job for me. If I'm here to represent you, that's my job to do as well. And so I will work hard to go and try to find more business and more industry for us here to grow our city.
And then the last question, you'll have to start that one, so if you want to say, okay, so what are your ideas to encourage citizen engagement in the city?
Free tacos. No, my answer honestly to that is communication, open communication with citizens. For those of you that do know me, you've probably seen me online. I met a bunch of people here tonight for the first time who have seen me post but have never actually met me in person. I am not quiet, and I am not hard to find. You can find me anytime, and I will talk with anybody and everybody. I'm tired of the old stigma of north versus south and this side or that side. To me, Forney's Forney. If you have an issue, I don't care what side of the tracks, what side of the highway, or what neighborhood you live in, come talk to me. Even if we don't agree, we can still discuss and try to understand each other. I will always talk to anybody and everybody. I feel that communication is two-way. Just as I want you to come talk to me as a council person, I need to come talk to you. I need to be able to be willing to reach out, communicate with everyone, and if we show that as a council and as a council member that I can communicate, it makes others feel like they can communicate back with us.
Cecil?
Yeah, so with us,
And then your answer?
Well, Nate wanted to offer tacos, so I'm gonna offer enchiladas. So, if you're like me, I'm not a big social media person, so I tend not to see a lot of promotional stuff. But my wife is, right? So she usually informs me, but I feel like there's some way that we can really promote some of the community events and get more people engaged and active. I always laugh because last summer, from my front porch, I kind of hear what's going on at the Spelman Amphitheater. And I heard this noise, I was like, that sounds familiar too. And I'll be danged if it wasn't Ted Nugent. And I had no idea Ted Nugent was coming to Forney, Texas. I'm not even a fan of Ted Nugent, but I'd love to go and see the show. I hear he's pretty wild. So there's a lot we can do to just kind of create some additional events, right? I mean, we walked up to the New Year's Eve celebration, the Brews on Boat Arc, and those kind of things. And the crowds are good, right? But we're in a town of 30,000 plus people. Like, you would think the whole area would just be swarmed with citizens. So we've got to get out there and just kind of promote what's going on. We can get creative with new ideas and really engage the public and create that sense of community where people want to get out, participate, and be amongst their neighbors. Thank you.
Okay, so in the order of Greg.
Yeah, so thanks everybody for coming out. I know this takes time out of a midweek schedule, so I really do appreciate it. And it's a good chance for, at a local level, you get to hear what we're about. So, in closing, I'll just tell you, like all of us, right? We're all running because we love this community and we want to serve it, right? So there's no differentiation there. So I think, what we're asking for is you just give consideration for nights like this. I know both Nate and I are kind of feeding some information and some ideas out there on social media just to give you some idea and some context about where we're at. So look forward to that. Really what I want to leave with you is the reason I stand here tonight and why I really want to serve is, my family is aging up, right? I still got kids in school, but pretty soon they're going to be gone, right? We're going to be empty nesters, and so I really want to leave a community and have a community that gave our family the same opportunities, right? I remember all the times in the community park going to the little soccer games, watching 4-year-olds play soccer and t-ball. That stuff was so great. I want those future families to get to do that same thing. So thank you again for coming. Appreciate your vote if you're willing to do it. And early voting starts, a couple weeks from now. So get out there. Thank you all.
Ditto again? No, I'm just kidding. Again, I hope you see that, Citizen Forney, you see my passion for this city and what I've done here. When I started volunteering with the city, my first board that I served on, I was told one thing by a person that said, no matter what you do, always put Forney first. And that's the way I felt that I've lived my life and every time that I've served this community. You know, those that know me really close, I'm a big disc golfer. I love disc golf. If I really put myself first, we'd have a disc golf course at Park now. But we've had bigger needs this past 20 years that I've been here. And that's what I've always made my decisions by, is what's best for Forney. I've turned down endorsements from businesses that have contracts with Forney. I've turned down endorsements by special interest groups and political associations. I'm here for what's best for the citizens of Forney, and that will always be my decision first. I hope that you come out and vote for me May 6th and early voting, and now you help me move Forney forward. Thank you to those who are hosting this evening for inviting all the candidates. I appreciate everybody online and here tonight for listening to us. I hope I didn't bore you too much, and ask away all the questions you'd like. Thank you very much.